Maloney, so she's going to make some brief remarks, and then we will go back to 911.
Everybody, I'm so pleased that I was able to get here with you. Sarah Hagan from my office is here, and she's here to help you when I'm away in Washington, sleeping on the floor of Congress every now and then, protesting gun safety. Anyway, I'm thrilled to be here, and what a beautiful turnout, and thank the police officers for protecting us. I know we had a murder on the island last year, and we need to really work on our security. I just want you to know that today's an election day, so I've been running all around. I'm on the ballot. I'm the only one on the ballot, and my opponent. Oh, I'm deeply grateful. I won't let you down. I'm deeply grateful. They decided in the state legislature to have 3 separate primaries. So we had one for the people running for president, now for Congress, and then they're having another one in September. This is ridiculous. It's costly. We should all do it at one time, right? Save money. Much better. There's a billing to do that, and we're going to try to make that happen in the future, but today it's a little bit of a mess. Very, very briefly, because I know you have a lot of other issues, and Rebecca Seawright, your new your state assemblywoman, also wants to speak. But in 2017, they're going to be opening Cornell Tech, and that's going to be a big change for the island. It's going to bring in a lot more people. It is one of the ways that we saved our post office. Remember when they tried to close it? They said, how in the world can you have a school coming here and you don't have a post office? Have to have a post office. They said, so it's near other post offices. I said, what do you want them to do, swim? They've got to have their post office, but sometimes it's not so much what you gain, it's what you hold on to. And they closed a lot of post offices, but not one in my district. And we saved the one here with all of your efforts. So in 2017, that will be a new addition. One of the things that I liked about their plan is they used the waterfront so that everybody in the community could go to the waterfront. Some of the designs had just buildings like making it hard for the community to be there, but with the beautiful Four Reasons Park, for Freedom's Park, and the campus, it's really opening and welcoming to the community. One of my favorite places is the Four Freedoms Park, and I was thrilled to be able to help with some federal funding for that. I find it so inspirational. And I've been there for several important times. One of my favorite places where they swear in new citizens is at Four Freedoms Park. It's always very moving and beautiful. And as you know, Hillary Rodham Clinton, the Democratic nominee for president, began her campaign in that very inspirational, historic, and beautiful park. I am working with Ben Kalos and everybody else and the mayor and everyone to get ferry service here to Roosevelt Island. We need it. In prior years, we had gotten roughly $3 million. It's something the city's investing in, and I've had several meetings with the economic development people, to get that happening. That will happen in 2017. That'll be another form of transportation that will be important to the residents here. And again, security is our number one concern, our homeland security, protecting our citizens, and I am pleased that the police is paying special attention here, but at one point we had gotten cameras into the subway system, and we did that with federal funding. I hope they're still working. They keep me locked up in Washington. Very briefly, we've been trying to get gun safety, common sense gun safety bills passed in Congress. And I believe we carried to the floor of Congress the feelings of the people I represent, the frustration and anger that we haven't done something to get senseless, dangerous guns off the streets of New York and really off the streets of the country. And when we asked for a vote, and I want to tell you what the two pieces of legislation were, because they are, to me, like having a glass of water in the morning. They're just things that should be there. One is called the no-fly, no-buy, so that if you're on the terrorist watch list, and you're so dangerous, you can't fly in an American plane, then you're too dangerous to buy a gun. That's common sense. That's absolutely common sense. Most of the people on the terrorist watch list are foreigners, people we want to keep out of America. But there are roughly 2,000 Americans on it, and there's absolutely no reason why they should be able to buy a gun. And give us a vote, Mr. Speaker. Then secondly, it's comprehensive background checks. Again, the murder, which was tremendously offensive, of parishioners going to the African American church in Charleston, South Carolina, having Bible practice and being mowed down with an AR-15 weapon that is really a military-style weapon. They gave him a gun. Obviously, he's mentally ill and mentally deranged, because the law is now, you do a background check, but if the background check lasts more than 3 days, then you get your gun. That's no background check. And the bill merely says you give the authorities as much time as they need to check someone to make sure they're not a terrorist, mentally deranged, or just too dangerous to own a gun. So those were just common sense, and they wouldn't give us a vote, and we just, John Lewis, remember the great John Lewis from the Selma, Alabama days? And I walked over the Selma Bridge with him last year with President Obama, and what a change it's been in the 50 years since Martin Luther King, Dr. King, walked over that bridge. We walked over with an African-American president and with an African-American AG that was there to protect the people. So it was really very historic. But the three greatest, I'd say, human rights movements, two of them began in New York. One, of course, was Selma, Alabama, for the right to vote, and Seneca Falls for the right for women to vote. And I keep introducing the Equal Rights Amendment. We should be in the Constitution. And the third was Stonewall, the modern gay rights movement in the United States that just 2 days ago was designated a federal monument. So I really feel that the civil rights movement and cause of this decade is going to be to reclaim our public spaces and make them safe for people. And when people are killed in town hall meetings, which I do every weekend practically, they're killed in churches, killed in malls, killed in movie theaters, all these public spaces where people should be secure, is just out of control. And we are unique as a country in terms of the amount of violence that our people suffer. If guns made us suffer, believe me, we'd be the safest country on earth, because we've got more guns per capita than any other country in the world. And I must say that it's something that we've got to move on. And one of the stats that really struck me is a study was done, I think by the Brennan Center, that said since 1968, more Americans have been killed by senseless gun violence on our streets than all of the Americans that have been killed in every war since the beginning of our nation, which is really a horrifying statistic. 89 people a day die of gun violence, over 32,000 a year. So we are saying enough is enough, and we're calling for another day of sit-ins across America, and I'm organizing one tomorrow at 11, if you'd like to join me. And I think Ben is joining me, and Rebecca. We're going to Carl Schurz Park and having a sit-in to just send another message to Speaker Ryan. Now, this is America. If you want to vote against it, but give us a vote. What he said that this was a publicity stunt. And I said back to him, if this is a publicity stunt, then American democracy is a publicity stunt, because we are representative of the people, and what we are asking for is a vote on what many people, the overwhelming majority, even Republican and Democratic, and even members of the NRA, which are sensible gun safety things to keep our children and all of our people safer. I do want to tell you that it's an extraordinary opportunity to represent what I think is the greatest city in the whole world, and certainly the most educated. I think everybody feels the same about their districts, but I think it's particularly true of mine. And I thank you for giving me such good ideas to work on. I just passed up, by the way, we've frozen spending, so we can't do new spending. So I passed a bill to raise money for breast cancer research by creating a new gold coin. Okay, everything's happening in 2017 that'll be out in 2017 that people can buy, and the money will go to breast cancer research. And we just passed a bill to create a women's museum on the Mall to talk about the many contributions that women have given to our great country. And we are investing in education and healthcare and other ways. But I want to thank you for all that you do to make this such an extraordinary neighborhood. It's always a great pleasure to come here to see you and to visit you in this unique small town in a big, great city with a whole neighborhood feeling. So thank you so much for giving me time to say hello. Thank you.